Members of the Senate are focusing on gun rights in the wake of the Supreme Court's Bruen decision.
Major Second Amendment case.
The U.S. Supreme Court has just issued a major ruling.
A warning shot from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court just sent a signal to every gun owner in America, and most people missed it. No speeches, no cameras, just rulings that quietly redrew the path of the Second Amendment. Some decisions expanded your rights, others tightened the rules around responsibility, and together they delivered one message. The court is shaping a new era for gun ownership, and if you carry or keep firearms, you need to pay attention. This was not a win or lose week. It was a wake-up and close watch moment. Because the justices made it clear that the Second Amendment is strong, but it is not a free-for-all. They want lawful citizens empowered, agencies restrained, and chaos nowhere near the right to bear arms. They are pulling the Constitution back to its roots, and they expect gun owners to rise to that standard. If you care about your rights and you want real information without the noise, and never get blindsided by a legal shift again, stay with me, because what the court just signaled will shape gun rights for years to come. Chapter 1. The Wake-Up Call. The first message came through the Rahimi decision, a case involving domestic violence restraining orders and firearm possession. This ruling was widely misunderstood, but its meaning is critical for responsible gun owners. The court made clear that the Second Amendment is strong, but not a shield for individuals who pose proven threats. This sets a tone for future cases and reminds the nation that rights and responsibility go hand in hand. The court upheld temporary firearm restrictions for individuals legally identified as dangerous. The decision preserved due process protections for lawful citizens. The ruling reinforced that Second Amendment protections apply to responsible owners. This created a line between legitimate self-defense and documented threats to public safety. This was not a retreat from gun rights, it was a signal. If someone is proven to be a real danger, they can be temporarily restricted. If they are not, their rights remain intact. The court is balancing freedom with public safety, not weakening the Second Amendment. Chapter 2. Agencies are not the law. Next came the Cargill ruling, focused on the ATF and bump stock classification. For years, agencies expanded firearm policy without congressional approval. That period is ending. The court drew a hard line between lawmaking and enforcement. Regulations cannot replace legislation, and federal agencies cannot redefine firearms. Bump stocks cannot be reclassified as machine guns without congressional action. Agencies must follow statutory language rather than policy preference. Federal power over firearm definitions has been limited by the constitutional separation of powers. Congress now holds sole authority to create firearm restrictions. This was a landmark correction. The Second Amendment cannot be governed by changing political staff or shifting interpretations. Laws must come through elected representatives, not administrative shortcuts. The court recentered authority where the Constitution placed it, with the people and their lawmakers. Chapter 3. Ghost Guns and the Fine Line. Then came the Vanderstock decision involving unfinished firearm parts and kits. Here, the court allowed limited regulation, but only within a clear constitutional structure. The justices recognized historical context while reinforcing the difference between a gun and a part. This ruling protects both the Second Amendment and legitimate law enforcement authority. Kits designed for rapid conversion can be regulated as firearms. The ruling does not criminalize lawful home-built firearms. The court applied a history-based standard consistent with Bruen. Authorities must distinguish between raw parts and weapons ready for use. This was not a rollback. It was a precision decision, confirming that rights are intact while loopholes cannot substitute for criminal intent. Gun owners retain their ability to build lawful firearms. The court continues to honor constitutional tradition while demanding clarity from regulators. Chapter 4. Foreign Blame. Game ends. Mexico attempted to sue American gun manufacturers over cartel violence. The court responded unanimously to protect U.S. companies and constitutional rights. Manufacturers cannot be punished for criminal misuse of legally sold firearms. This ruling defends the American firearms industry from international legal pressure. The Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act remains fully intact. U.S. courts will not enforce foreign liability claims against gun companies. Criminal actions by foreign gangs cannot be tied to lawful American commerce. The ruling reaffirms constitutional and jurisdictional protection for gun makers. This decision matters deeply. Anti-gun factions have long targeted manufacturers when they could not target owners. The Supreme Court just closed that door permanently. Your rights in the industry that supports them remain legally secure. Chapter 5. The Quiet Test on AR-15 bans. While headlines focused elsewhere, the court quietly positioned itself for future decisions on rifle and magazine bans. Maryland and Rhode Island sought approval to continue restrictions. The court declined to rule immediately, but one justice left a key signal. The issue is not resolved, only paused until the right case arrives. The court left the current state bans temporarily in place. Justice Kavanaugh noted serious constitutional concerns with AR-15 bans. Bruin's history and tradition standard will govern future review. The court is waiting for a cleaner challenge with an optimal procedural posture. Do not mistake silence for uncertainty. This area is moving toward a decision, not away from it. When the right record reaches the court, AR-style rifle cases are likely to be heard on a full constitutional footing. This pause is strategic, not passive. Chapter 6. Hawaii tried to rewrite carry rights. Then came Hawaii attempting to turn private property into a loophole against public carry. The state claimed you could not carry on any private land without express permission first. To the average citizen, that meant everyday locations like stores, restaurants, and parking lots suddenly became off-limits. It was not a regulation. It was a carry ban disguised as courtesy. Default no-carry rules contradict centuries of public carry tradition. This approach functioned as a near-total carry prohibition across the state. Lower courts split on whether this structure was constitutional after Bruin. The Supreme Court accepted review, signaling serious concern with the scheme. This case matters far beyond the islands. If the court strikes down Hawaii's framework, other states cannot use property rules as backdoor bans. If the court upholds it, restrictive states will move fast to copy it. The ruling will define whether carry rights end at a doorway or travel with the lawful citizen. Chapter 7. Lower courts just got correction orders. After Bruin, lower courts tried to interpret the historical standard on their own. Some demanded identical 1791 policies as proof. Others used broad history to justify modern restrictions. The Supreme Court saw the confusion and stepped in again, clarifying that historical analogs must be real, but they do not need to be perfect twins. Courts must use genuine historical comparisons, not imaginary standards. Judges cannot reject modern rights simply because muskets existed in 1791. At the same time, policy opinions cannot override constitutional text. The Supreme Court reinforced Bruin as the ongoing rule, not a suggestion. This clarification matters for every future case. It prevents judges from watering down Bruin through technical excuses. It also stops extreme readings that require identical colonial laws. The court is enforcing order and consistency, building a stable constitutional path instead of leaving gun rights to judicial interpretation swings. Chapter 8. States are moving fast in 2025. Across the country, states are racing to react to these rulings. Some are strengthening constitutional carry, others are shifting to location-based restrictions, trying to limit carry zones instead of permits. As rulings come down, legislatures, attorneys general, and sheriffs are updating policies in real time. Gun owners are watching a legal map redraw itself week by week. Pro-Second Amendment states are locking in protections to avoid future reversals. Restrictive states are testing what limits survive the Bruin standard. Courts are fast-tracking firearms cases instead of letting them stall for years. Citizens must follow state guidance closely to remain compliant as laws change. This is a transitional moment in firearms law. Rights are expanding in some regions and being tested in others. The Supreme Court has set the doctrine, but the states are drawing the battlefield lines. Staying informed is not optional anymore. Your rights now shift as fast as the legal challenges behind them. Chapter 9. Compliance is strength, not surrender. In the midst of rapid legal change, responsible gun ownership is your strongest defense. Courts respond to order, documentation, and responsible behavior. That means staying compliant, keeping your records clean, and understanding your obligations. The system rewards clarity and preparation. Keep purchase and transfer records organized and backed up securely. Follow state and federal storage rules even before enforcement tightens. Track permit or background timelines if you live in a regulated state. Stay connected to verified legal resources, not rumors or headlines. This is not paranoia, it is discipline. Responsible carry is not only safer, it builds credibility for the entire community. When owners follow the law and show preparedness, public opinion shifts, political power increases, and the courts view the right as rooted in maturity and civic responsibility. Chapter 10. Rights require leadership. The The Supreme Court has strengthened the Second Amendment, but the future of those rights depends on the people who exercise them. Courts can define freedom, but only citizens can preserve it. Responsible ownership, informed decision-making, and steady, lawful conduct are what convert rulings into lasting culture. Rights endure when owners demonstrate responsibility and discipline. Education and training elevate public trust in lawful carry. Calm, informed voices shape future policy better than conflict. Leading by example protects the community and the Constitution. This moment calls for leaders, not spectators. It asks gun owners to model the balance the court expects: freedom with order, rights with responsibility. When citizens carry with knowledge, respect, and purpose, the Second Amendment becomes not just a legal right, but a cultural pillar that lasts through courts, elections, and generations. This is not the end, it is the beginning. The Supreme Court has spoken, not through headlines but through principle. They protected core Second Amendment rights, demanded responsibility, and reminded agencies that write the law in this country. The future is now in our hands, and how gun owners carry themselves will decide where this moment leads. Do not rely on rumors or wait for someone else to explain it after the fact. Stay informed, stay prepared, and carry with discipline and clarity, because freedom only survives when citizens take ownership of it. If you found value in this breakdown, subscribe, comment, and share this with a responsible gun owner who needs to hear it. The next ruling could shift the landscape again, and you will want to be here when it happens. Stay alert, stay responsible, and as always, stay free.